I'm joined here with Commissioner Count Wiley of West New York. Commissioner, so once again, we're together because we're going to discuss this matter involving Deputy Mayor Silvio Acosta. So, for our viewers that aren't aware, late last week, I believe it was Friday, a letter written by Town Attorney Gilberto Garcia leaked, which basically said that Acosta's fines are going to be abated. So, Commissioner, what did you want to tell me about this matter first off?
Well, like I said, this has been going on for 7 years, this illegal building that he had put up. And this is something that's been taking place and hasn't been, how do I say, pushed through to be enforced, the fines. This gentleman, he had brought this to the county under the Salvega administration to have it appealed. Two times he appealed it and it was brought back to the town to enforce the fines. Now we move into the future, when we come into the administration, Roque had knowledge of this and claims that he didn't after a whole year. That it was in the Jersey Journal, they had documented this, that he claims he didn't know nothing about the fines. About a gentleman who you make the deputy mayor in your town, who's supposed to be a representation of you, and have that respectability and not have a past like this to represent the town. And what happened was, again, now the meeting takes place about a couple months ago, and you were there actually on the scene filming this, and he didn't have experts present in the meeting, and what they were trying to do was push this through so that he wouldn't have to abate the fines and be able to continue on with the project. The next meeting comes around that I attend, and I go up to that. What they were trying to do again was pushing the meeting through. He had his attorney there, and they tried to claim it was under old construction. It's not new construction. So here they are trying to put it under older rules with houses that were built 30 to 40 years ago. And in reality, we're talking only 7 years ago. And that's in regards to the parking issues. You know, you go from a 2-family to 6-family, you got to have so many spots to provide in order to build something like that in a community. It's in a densely populated area where the community can't afford another car, where there's people complaining that it takes them an hour and a half to find parking in that specific community on 66, 67th Street. Now here we are again in this meeting, and I argued the fact that why should he not pay the fines which anybody else in this town would have to comply to? And they were trying to push it through, like I said again, is old construction. And I enforced the thing. I said, listen, nothing should be considered in this meeting with him going forward any project in this regarded to this building, which is built illegal to begin with not enough square footage on the right side of the building, the front, or in the back of the yard. And this is something that they continue to try to push through because, again, the mayor appoints these people on the board. It's become corrupt to this point. This is going on in every single board in town. There's been over 25 to 30 new members in the community, that people that are on the payroll in West New York that are working on these boards and making decisions that they're not qualified to do. Just alone in that board in regards to Silvio's area, there's got to be like 6, 7 members, and at least not maybe one of them knows exactly what an engineer is, what it does, or what the rules are that they have to comply to, or anything about construction. Probably not one of them even put a nail in a wall before. So, you know, this is what I'm saying. How do you appoint people who are unqualified? And like I said, this is corruption. This is a mayor, again, who's indicted. He has done, and his ethics is horrible. He's not a representation of West New York. And here we are now trying to take care of his political crony, Silvio Acosta, to push him through, not to have to abate those fines. But I kind of look at it as I won half the battle, because in that meeting, Kevin Blaine had put the resolution. What he was going to say was that in order for this to go through, that he would have to abate the fines first before this project could even be considered to move forward, or even to abate the fines. And what they're trying to do is abate the fines. In other words, what I understand is from that meeting, there's sprinkler systems, firewall, sheetrock, a basement, electrical problems. I mean, you're looking at this is going to cost this gentleman at least $50,000 to $60,000 to put this into compliance. And in reality, it'll still never be in compliance because it was overbuilt in size. So this is how we get things done here in West New York. This is what we're going to allow. This is the example we're going to make for the future in West New York. And, well, if you want to build something, just build it illegally. You'll deal with it financially through the courts and appeal, and eventually they'll just push you through. I mean, this is not something that I agree as a commissioner. I'm here to stop this. I think this is absurd what's going on. What I plan on doing now at this point, now it was this. They had moved this to the DCA. Mr. Thomas O'Malley had brought this to the DCA to handle these fines.
Right. So on that note, I mean, I'm sure you were going to say what I'm about to say, but you know, as you know, in the letter from Mr. Garcia, he's basically saying the former building code official Thomas O'Malley didn't properly write up the fine. So I mean, could you speak on that?
Well, let's talk about the fines. I mean, what do you mean he hasn't wrote up the fines? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there was a figure, an amount put down over $500,000 in fines. So I'm sure the amount of fines were assessed due to some violation in the building. And what's happened is right now, the violations again come back. Like I said, he sent them to the DCA. So what did he send to the DCA is my question. He had to send some kind of paperwork of the violations and what the fines added up to in that amount. And over the time, what I understand, this is also collected interest. It's up to $580,000 at this point. But what disrupts me now is the DCA sends this back to West New York, and whatever was stated on the letter. But I want my lawyer to explain this in more detail so that he can make it more as far as to the legal jargon that is required for you to understand this.
Okay, very good.